Real estate. Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Is it a good investment? I think the first question that we should explore, or the first topic that we should explore, is why do we even think of real estate as an investment per se? And when did this all start? In my opinion, real estate ultimately, if you own the property outright, that means it's paid off, no mortgages, no interest to pay on the principal, it's an awesome investment. And it has been a valued investment for generations. I cannot deny that. And now on the other side, we should ask, is it always a good investment? The answer to that is no. Not in my opinion. It's not always a good investment. As a matter of fact, it probably single-handedly has been one investment that has wiped people out more than anything else. Credit card payments or loans, not gonna do that, or hasn't done that. Car loans, auto loans, they come and repo it. People survive. They can still be okay. But real estate, with the money that you put down as a down payment, and then the large sum of money as you pay for your mortgage payments, my goodness, I mean, if the economy changes, you're completely wiped out, and it has happened. It has happened time after time. The more recent in the history was back in 2008, 2009, where real estate prices just went up. And again, for no reason, and I'll talk about that later. I mean, why should the real estate prices go up? What is the norm? And then all of a sudden, with the stock market crash, the real estate boom turned into bust, and there were millions of people that lost their properties, their homes, their savings. When we say somebody loses their homes, yes, there have been people that actually went homeless after that incident. They just lost their home. They just could never get back into a place that they could call home with roof over their heads. Literally homeless. That's one extreme, and it has happened. And then, there have been others that they just basically lost the property, and they lost their hope in ever owning a piece of real estate, because the scar stays with you for a long time, and you just lose faith and confidence in yourself, in the system, in the whole support system, that there isn't one. So they just ultimately said, you know what, screw it, we're just gonna rent, for instance, okay? Or there were some people that just moved out of the country altogether, or moved out of the area, or moved in, so various reasons. But anyways, back to real estate as an investment. Again, I actually can recall speaking with somebody, an elderly gentleman from New York, which he presently lives here in Southern California, in Irvine, California, which is an affluent neighborhood. And he's the one that, he's probably in his 70s, mid to late 70s, and he said, I am probably the only property owner in his neighborhood that he actually owns his home outright. And he said he said that he comes from old school mentality, where in New York a lot of people rent it, and there was nothing wrong with that. And now people think that they should own a home just because they want to own a home. But they're really not owning a home. They're just basically leasing a home, you know, instead of an individual. They're leasing it from a bank. That's all it is. There's no different, really. Ultimately, if everything goes well, of course, the difference is that after so many years, 20, 30, 35 years, whatever, that they make all their payments on time, they go through the whole ordeal of property tax, this, that, maintenance, all that stuff. Yes, they will ultimately own it after 30 years. And at a cost, everything comes at a cost, right? So, and a property is owned, we feel like, oh, well, it appreciated value after so many years. Yes, but, you know, with the interest, depending, of course, on the interest, you're sometimes paying twice as much as what you actually agreed to pay at the end of the term. So assuming that you bought a home for, let's say, $500,000-$600,000, by the time you actually pay it off, at the end of the term, you're really paying over $1 million or so. True that at that time, in the hopes, and that's what everybody hopes, that the property value will go up, you know, kind of like how it did go up, or how it has been going up, to like, so you'll probably at that time it'll be worth $2 million, assuming, or 1.5 million. Okay, so well, you come out, supposedly you come out still ahead. So needless to say, I'm not a proponent of buying property when the property value is exaggerated, which it is right now. Today is December 15th, 2016, and property values are where they were at their peak back in 2008, 2007, 2008. That scares me. That worries me. Anything that goes up that high must someday come down. That's the rule. I mean, that's the general rule of thumb. It never fails. So people, I've been saying that to people, and they say, well, it hasn't. Look at the economy. Everything's great. You know, the interest rate is still low. Yes. But, you know, am I going to buy a home just to tell everyone that I bought a home? Or am I going to buy a home for the true reason of a piece of investment for my family, you know, so for years down the line? So if that's the case, if I'm just buying a home just to have a home, I already have a home. I'm renting. It's a great home. Love it. You know, we treat it like our home, and it is our home because we live in it, and we have that's where we have our family gatherings. That's where we have our family dinner. You know, so that's where I play with my kids. You know, so that's my home. So I don't believe that a home is always what you know is a home when you own it. You know, there are many people that own supposedly their home. They're miserable. They're absolutely miserable. So what is a home? You know, that's a topic for another conversation. But what is home? Home is where you're happy, where you're, you know, you gather memories. You know, so and you have to have peace of mind, because for me to buy a property at peak, even though the interest rate is low, granted, it is low. But what if the interest rate definitely will go up and the property values will decrease? And when they do decrease, it's going to be pretty bad. I mean, it's going to be, worse than what it was before. I mean, where property values were, that was worth 1.5 million, went for, half. So is that a really true good investment? Is that what what people should do just so they don't fall behind from anybody else? That hasn't been my motto. That hasn't been my approach, and I don't recommend it. You should avoid, as a matter of fact, following the trend. You should avoid following the crowd, because wherever crowd, are going, I had this conversation before in my other videos, that you got to be careful. You got to stop and pause and wait. Hey, why is everybody going this direction? And did everybody really make a logical and wise decision to go this direction, or are they just following everybody else? I can almost guarantee you it's like stock market, like anything else. 80% follow the 20%. Okay, so they did not. So do you want to be the 80% or do you want to be the 20%? That's the question.